you're under contract to buy or sell a home in Florida at a time like this, when a hurricane is expected to make landfall any day now, you may be concerned about what happens if the storm damages the property that you're planning to buy or sell. Today's tip will discuss 1, how deadlines can be shifted when a storm prevents parties from being able to do what the contract calls for, and 2, who pays for the repairs that are needed due to damage from the storm. Keep in mind that the provisions I will refer to are from the most recent version of the as-is residential contract for sale and purchase, which is approved by the Florida Realtors and the Florida Bar because it's the most widely used, but that may not be the contract that applies to your deal. The first provision to review is Standard G on page 8, titled Force Majeure. This is a fancy French phrase that refers to unforeseeable circumstances that prevent someone from fulfilling a contract, but it is specifically defined in the contract to include hurricanes, floods, and extreme weather, among many other things. This provision excuses performance as long as the reason that you can't do things, like get insurance, send out a wire, or attend the closing, are due to a force majeure event. All time periods under the contract, including the closing date, are extended for up to 7 days after the force majeure event no longer prevents performance. However, if performance is prevented for more than 30 days beyond the closing date, then either party can cancel the contract and the deposit funds are returned to the buyer. And the second provision to review relates to the risk of loss, and it appears in Standard M on page 10. If the property is damaged by a storm at some point after the contract is signed but before closing, the cost of restoration is paid for by the seller as long as it does not exceed 1.5% of the purchase price. To put that in dollars, on a $750,000 home, 1.5% equals $11,250. If, on the other hand, the cost of restoration exceeds 1.5% of the purchase price, then the buyer has a choice. They can either elect to take the property as is, together with the 1.5%, or receive a refund of the deposit and walk away from the deal. As a reminder, as of October 1st, there's now a mandatory flood disclosure form that must be provided by all sellers of residential property in Florida to their buyers. To have a copy of the flood disclosure form sent to you, text the word FLOOD to 561-225-2676.